Hi everyone, my name is Levi, and in this video I want to talk about the upcoming full moon in the sign of Pisces. And this will happen on August 26th, 2018 at around 2 p.m. Central European time, that is. During a full moon, the Earth is directly between the Sun and the Moon, so the ecliptic longitudes of the Sun and Moon differ by 180 degrees. This is a representation of the zodiac. This is the wheel perspective, and we can see that the moon is in the sign of Pisces, and it opposes the sun in the sign of Virgo. It is also said that during the time of a full moon, the crown of the earth is wide open. Of course, we know that the moon revolves around the earth and acts as its antenna. It's a satellite, right? And so at the time of the full moon, subtle cosmic planetary vibrations, energies are more readily available to us. Okay, so it's an important time to meditate, to contemplate, because the moon reaches a high point, or it's a time of culmination, which started 2 weeks earlier at the beginning of, at the new moon, right? So the beginning of the waxing phase of the moon. And so now 2 weeks later, the moon reaches a high point. And so in respect to the sign that the moon is placed in, we can derive a lot of meaning about the nature of these energies and how they can help us evolve our consciousness, okay? Of course, full moons and new moons are created by the two main players in a horoscope, right? Which are the sun and the moon. The sun is the Atma. It is the soul. It represents the soul, right? The light of consciousness. And the moon, its feminine counterpart, represents or is the mind, right? The manas. And in the mind lives the idea of separate existence, and also the conscious living entity, which we call the jiva. So see Alice Bailey, who was a contemporary of Carl Gustav Jung and who wrote 23 books on all sorts of esoteric subjects. She wrote a treatise on full moon meditation, which is very interesting. Talks in her writings about human beings representing the mental body of the earth, right? Of course, the moon is very strongly connected to our mental part of our being, okay? So because in there lives the idea of separate existence. So through the agency of the moon, we experience things, we experience ourselves subjectively. So it's a time to be receptive to what the mystery has to offer us. And I'm saying the mystery because the full moon is happening in the sign of Pisces. And Pisces is the original 12th sign of the zodiac, which relates to endings, completions, losses, but also elevation, liberation, surrendering to something truly greater than ourselves. Pisces is symbolized by two fish swimming in opposite directions. So it can go either way. It can go into escapism, denial, holding on to what is not working, or it can reach spiritual heights. It can liberate itself, surrender to something much greater, to the mystery. See, there is a nice trine, and a trine is a harmonious aspect between two planets going on between Jupiter, the Lord of Pisces, and Neptune. And this aspect has been in place for quite some time, allowing us to develop a set of lenses that enables us to probe deeper into our spiritual potential, especially in the light of the eclipse season, which has been very intense, especially the South Node eclipse in Aquarius with Mars, the surgeon, right, as a pivotal player, helping us to cutting through some cords of the past. The South Node eclipse happened in Aquarius, the sign of the humanitarian. Aquarius is ruled by Saturn, which rules our complexes. So in Aquarius, we become psychologically stable and healthy, right? And we recognize the intrinsic value of human beings and of life. And so during that time, during the eclipse season, the aspect between Jupiter, the trine between Jupiter and Neptune has acted as a buffer, right? So during this full moon in Pisces, this trine, this nice aspect will be triggered, right? Neptune wants to create breakthroughs on a level of mind. Neptune is a transpersonal planet. It's one of the outer planets and is numerologically related to the moon, which is the mind, right? Which represents our mind. So it is showing us and it is allowing us to open up for the deeper layers of our being, of our consciousness, okay? So now, to come to the gist of what is going to happen, what is happening during this full moon is we have a kite being activated. A kite consists of a grand trine, right? There is a trine going on between the Sun, Saturn, and Uranus, right? Which is a highly creative and harmonious configuration, right? There's a smooth and harmonious flow of energy between these planets and what they represent, right? In respect also to their signs. But a kite is formed, the kite here is formed by the moon, right? The moon is sextiling Saturn and also Uranus. So we see this kite pattern being formed. And so sextiles, you know, give opportunities, they create opportunities. So it implies some action, right? But the full moon is happening in female signs, right? And the trine, the grand trine is also happening in female signs. So female signs are receptive, okay? They're much less inclined to aggressively push forward. So it is a time of receiving, right? It is in that sense important to meditate and to contemplate because it is there where the big gifts lie, okay? So we have a full moon in the dual signs, okay? So the sun is in the sign of Virgo. Virgo is the original 6th sign of the zodiac, which is about overcoming obstacles, okay? It's an earth sign, so it has to do with the body and our health, right? So Virgo is very much about improving our life situation on a concrete and a material and a bodily level. So the sun is there, the sun receives a harmonious aspect from Uranus. Uranus relates to the sun, right? Uranus is the 10th planet, the sun is the 1st planet. Uranus wants to create breakthroughs on a level of identity, on a level of our vision, okay? Fueling new energy into what we want to create in respect to our health, in respect to improving our life situation. So it's a very strong and helpful aspect. Then we also have Uranus trining Saturn. Saturn is in Capricorn. Capricorn is very much under manifesting influence, and this is applying Gemini's second source of strength. This is when any planet that conjuncts or its own sign or Rashi aspects its own sign becomes manifesting to that sign. And also Jupiter and Mercury, when they conjunct or Rashi aspect any sign, they give it manifesting potential. So we have Saturn as the Lord of Capricorn manifesting Capricorn, and we have Jupiter from Scorpio Rashi aspecting Capricorn, and we have Mercury from Leo Rashi aspecting Capricorn as well. So there's the 3 manifesting influences are there. But Capricorn is under great stress because it is the 2 cruel planets, Mars the cruelest of the cruel planets, and Saturn the second one, right, are giving a lot of stress there. And on top of that, we have Pluto in the mix. And where Pluto is always going to be intense, okay? Also, because Rahu, Rashi aspects Capricorn as well, can create confusion, can create a lot of tension, okay? Anytime you have the North Node and Saturn aspecting a sign, I'm talking about Rashi aspects, or conjuncting a sign, that sign is going to be highly stressed, okay? So it's an intense mix of manifesting influence and of a lot of burden and stress. Luckily, Capricorn is a quadruped. Okay, it's capable of creating you know, it's capable of carrying great burdens. Okay, so but Uranus throwing its aspect onto Saturn is freeing Saturn from its responsibilities, from disease, because Saturn is a karaka of disease. Especially the sign of Capricorn, according to Gemini, is the most faded of the signs. Okay, Scorpio is the most intense, and Capricorn is the most faded. Capricorn can be very resistant to change, right? Because it is ruled by Saturn, right? Again, ruling our complexes. In fact, Saturn rules our mortality, right? So Uranus is helping out there, right? To create a new situation, because Capricorn is a movable sign, right? It wants to create something new on the concrete and the material level. Capricorn is also a sign that strongly connects to or relates to persona, our status, okay? How we want the world to see us, our obligations, or performing our great deeds as the original 10th sign of the zodiac. And we have also a nice trine between the Sun, our vision, and Saturn, our responsibility. Okay, so this is very empowering. This is creating a harmonious energy flow between those signs. So they're earth signs, all female signs. So earth signs want to contribute. They want to share their value by creating something materially, concretely, bodily, right? Earthly. And combined with the female sign of Pisces, where the full moon is happening, it is a great mix, right? Because we see that water signs always oppose earth signs, okay? And it's a strong connection, water and earth, all right? If you connect that, it makes the ground fertile. And so this is a time of receiving blessings, of receiving insight, even though there can be a lot of stress around your daily your activity in the world, what you project out there, right, Capricorn, in terms of overcoming psychological problems. Capricorn is very much about overcoming the personality, right, and to align with our souls, right, with that aspect of our being which is attuned to the subtle and higher vibrations that are accessible during the time of a full moon. So we also see that the Lord of Virgo, which is the Lord of the Sun here, right? Mercury is squaring Jupiter, which is the Lord of Pisces, where the moon is. Okay, so Jupiter rules natural law, and Mercury rules man-made law. So there can be a clash between our beliefs, right, our ideals, and the rational mind. Mercury acts as the interface between what is happening outside and within. Okay, Mercury, as I mentioned, is all about man-made law. So lawyers, and that's why it connects to lawyers and this kind of thing. But Mercury is about discerning things. It's a neuter planet, so it objectively discerns, gathers information, provides information. It's the messenger, right? So there can be, and there's also an inconjunct between Mercury and Neptune, which can create some confusion on a mental level. See, so it is a time to let that mental or the monkey mind rest a bit and to go into meditation, right? And however you want to see that, you want to look at that, go inwardly. Is important, and to be receptive to what the mystery has to offer you. This is a highly beneficial time to tap into that and to receive those glimpses, right, which can empower you to move forward in your activities, right, which is the sun, right? The sun is our vision, our creativity, our creative spark that wants to contribute to the world, okay? And then Saturn is taking care of our responsibilities, right? We have a lot of stress going on here, so Capricorn is an important point here. So you can look at what these houses, what these signs represent for you in your personal horoscope. So look at the house placement. There's going to be culminations in respect to Pisces. Okay. Also, we have a square going on between Venus and Pluto, right? This is a tense aspect. Okay. So Venus is the significator of relationships, woman, right? It rules woman. Our self-worth, right? And in the sign of Libra, Venus is very strong. Libra is a sign of making healthy choices that prove beneficial in the long term, right? Venus transiting its own sign is helping with that. But now with the conversation with Pluto, Pluto of course is the ego basher, right? It relates to Shiva in Vedic mythology. So there's going to be some challenges in respect to relationships, in respect to your worth, and so on. So, but most importantly, we have this very supportive kite being triggered by the moon, right? The moon is making this happen. So it is a unique time to align with something that is greater than ourselves, which is Pisces, right? Which has the strongest spiritual potential. So yes, so I think you can look at if Venus is your ascendant sign, for example, there could be some clashes in respect to relationships, also perhaps in terms of your health and your life path. Okay, so Venus is the ruler of Libra, as I mentioned, so it's going to act as it's going to have an implication on your health as well. But we see that the trine between the Sun in Virgo and Saturn in Capricorn, because both of these signs have a strong health connotation. Okay, they deal with health. There could be breakthroughs in respect to tackling problems. If there's a disease going on or something like that, there could be a very nice and very good support, and finding new ways, new and visioning of how to tackle all these problems. Okay, so okay, I think that's enough. Have a spiritual time and talk to you later.